Welcome back, viewers. My name is Christian Obodo. In this video, we are going to focus on graph of inequality. If that is what you are interested to learn, kindly subscribe to this channel, like and share this video, and also turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post a new video. Inequality graph. In this video, there are many things we need to understand before we dive into the graph. Boundaries within region. The required boundary of a particular region is described by the equality sign. Less than or greater than. The points on the boundary region are to be excluded. Take note. That is, broken lines are used to draw the graph, as you can see below. Then the second one is less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. The points on the boundary region are included. Take note. Continuous lines are used to draw the graph. As you can see, there are two different things between the two. Let's see some examples. 3x plus 2y less than 12. So 3x plus 2y equals to 12. So let's make y the subject of formula in this case. So 2y is equals to 12. So when 3 cross over to the other side, it becomes negative 3x. So then, making y the subject of formula, so here now we need to divide both sides of the equation by 2 so as to eliminate the 2 that is disturbing y. So when we did that, then we're going to get y, the 2 we cancel 2, y is equals to 6 minus 3 over 2x. That's the value of y. Then when x is equals to 0, anywhere you see x, you put 0, because we want to get our coordinates that we use to plot the graph now. So in doing that, y is equals to 6. So our first coordinate is 0 and 6. Then the next one, when y is equals to 0, in the same equation, anywhere you see y, you put 0. So in doing that, so we're going to have 0 equals to 6 minus 3 over 2x. And when we did that, take the minus 3 over 2x to the left hand side. So then we cross multiply this way, as you can see on the board. So 3x is equals to 12. Divide both sides by 3. Then x is equals to 4. And the second coordinates are 4 and 0. Now, so you can see our graph, that is the next thing now we need to plot using our coordinates. That is the y-axis, positive and negative y-axis, x-axis. We have the positive and negative x-axis. We're going to use our coordinates now to plot our graph. So that is what we're about doing now. So x comes first. So when x is 0, then y is 6. That is the point where they are going to meet. Then the second coordinates, when x is 4, y is 0. So as you can see, so then we join the 2 points. So that is what we're going to do next. Remember, the equation is 3x plus 2y less than 12. So this is what we're going to do. We use broken line because it's less than, as I explained earlier on. Let's see the next question. We're asked to draw the graph of 4x plus 3y greater or equal to 12. The same thing. So when x is equals to 0, let's see what y will give us. So when we did that, we're going to get 3y is greater or equals to 12. So then divide both side by 3. Y now is equals to 4. So our coordinates will be 0 and 4. When y is equals to 0, then that means in our equation, anywhere you see y, you put 0. That is what it simply means. And when we did that, we got 4x is greater or equals to 12. Then we divide both side by 4 so that we can get the value of x. Then when we did that, x is equals to 3. So our coordinates now will be 3 and y is 0. The next thing now we move to is our graph section. How to draw the graph. Then we have the positive and the negative x-axis and the positive and negative y-axis. Let's write down our coordinates. We have 0 and 4 and 3 and 0. So that is what we got as our coordinate. Remember, x comes first. Now the question remains 4x plus 3y greater or equals to 12. So then when x is 0, y is 4. That is what we did. And when x is 3, y is 0. That is the next point that we're going to get now. So then, since now is greater or equal to, we're going to use thick continuous line, as you can see. Determination of the region to shade. That is one aspect students also find difficult, knowing where to shade. So we're going to see some questions. As you can see, we have about 4 examples. I'm going to start with. As you can see on the board, we have 4 we're going to start with. The first one is y is less than 4. So y is equals to 4. So since we are concerned with y, there is no need of putting values on the x-axis. That's what you can see on the board. So then, because it's less than, we're going to use broken line. There is no equal to. And knowing where to shade is another aspect. Now you can see, so we have y is less than 4. Now, knowing where to shade, we're going to use the 0 test. Anywhere you see y, you put 0. So 0 is less than 4. Is it true or false? If it is true, the origin will be included in the shading. But if it is not true, the origin will not be included. So if, as you can see, 0 is less than 4. That's why we are shading down to include the origin. Let's see the second example. Y is greater or equals to 3. So y is equals to 3. Then we draw our graph. As you can see, this is the 0, the origin. Then we have the positive y-axis and the negative y-axis. Since we don't have anything to do with x, that's why x is not labeled or numbered. So we are equally going to use our 0 test. This is greater or equal to, so we are going to use thick continuous line. Then the next thing is our 0 test. Anywhere you see y, you put 0. So 0 is greater or equals to 3. So you can see it now that 0 is not greater than 3. So the origin will not be included in the shading. We're going to shade the upper part. Why? Because it is false. Then let's see the next example, number 3. It says x is greater than minus 3. Then let's quickly plot the graph. This is our origin. Then we are now concerned with y-axis in this case. So we're only concerned with x, as you can see. So let's label or number the x-axis. We have the positive and the negative x-axis. So x is equals to -3. So remember this, we're going to use broken line. So, and it's -3. That's what you can see. Then the next thing now is our zero test. So anywhere you see x, you put 0. Then you check whether it's true or false. 0 is greater than -3. Is it true or false? It is true. So you can shade to include the origin. It's very easy and simple. That is just the best way to know where to shade. The next example, number 4, says x is less than or equals to -5. Let's also try and plot the graph. Here also we are concerned with x. That is our origin. So we are not going to number the y-axis. So this is the negative x-axis. So let's put our negative. Then this side is the positive x-axis. We are using 2 centimeter to represent 2 units. So x is equals to -5. So as you know, the question say x is less than or equal to. So we are going to make use of thick continuous line, and it's on -5, negative side of x. As you can see, that is what we are doing. So then our zero test, to consider where to shade. So anywhere you see x, you put 0. So 0 is less than or equal to -5. Is that true or false? So if it is false, then you shade the other side, not to include the origin. Then another example says, show on a graph the region which contains the solution of the simultaneous inequalities. So we have 2 questions here, and we are expected to plot the 2 in the same graph. So let's dive into it now and see. So we are starting with the first one. So when x is equals to 0, so that is what you can see on the board. So when we did that, we got the value of y to be 8. So then let's write down our coordinate, 0 and -8. That is the first coordinate. Remember I told you x comes first. Then the next one is when y is equals to 0, so that we can get the next coordinate. It simply means anywhere you see y in the equation, you put 0. That is what we did there, so that we can get the value of x. And when we did that, x is equals to 2. So our coordinates will be 2 and 0. So the next inequality equation is what we want to solve now. 3x plus 2y greater than 12. We'll do the same thing. When x is equals to 0, let's get the value of y. That is what you can see on the board. So y is equals to 6. Then you write your coordinates 0 and 6. So when y is equals to 0, then let's get the value of x, so that we can equally write down the coordinates. It's the coordinate we'll use to plot our graph. Very, very important. So when we did that, x gave us 4. So our coordinates are 4 and 0. Now let's go to the graph section. This is the graph section. positive and negative y-axis and positive and negative x-axis. These are our coordinates. So we have the coordinates here. As you can see, we're going to use them now to plot our graph. That is what we're doing now. When x is 0, y is minus 8. 0 minus 8. So you mark it. Then when x is 2, y is 0, 0, then 2. You equally mark it. So we're going to join both points. And remember, we are joining them with thick, continuous line. Take note of that. Thick, continuous line. Then the next one, we're going to use the other coordinate. When x is 0, y is 6. And the other one, when x is 4, y is 0. That is what you can see there. So you mark it. So we equally join the line. We're going to use broken lines. Take note of that. Then having done that now, so the next thing we need to consider is the area to shade, which students find difficult. That is the first equation. Then we have the second equation. So we're going to do our shading, and the next thing we're going to do in order to do that is to use our zero test. As I told you earlier on, anywhere you see x and y, you put 0. And when you did that now, we got 0 is less than or equals to 8. Is that true? Yes, that is true. So if it's true, we're going to shade to include the origin. That's what you can see. Then we check also the second equation using our zero test. If it is not true, then the origin will not be included. So let's check and see. So 0 is greater than 12. That is false. That's why you see me shading the other way. So 0 will not be included. 0 is the origin I'm talking about. Thank you for watching.